Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League. This is the Eco Performance Tier 1, the top tier of the community. And we are here for round number 8 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Very much like Monaco, with the walls slightly further back, but not by a lot. Yeah, we're here to have another fantastic race with the Tier 1 guys. 16 drivers in, which is fantastic to see. My name is JPH, and joining me as always is Bruce. Good evening, Bruce.
Yeah, good evening, JPH. Welcome everyone to the Hungarian, as it was called in the 1990s and 2000s. I assume it's still the Hungarian, but yeah, it's as you say, a difficult circuit, very tight and twisty, and yeah, tough to overtake, as you say, a bit like Monaco. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many people use the undercut strategy as a way of making up positions tonight.
Yeah, it's quite an awkward one, really, the Hungarian, because we know that the wear can be quite an interesting factor. I mean, the hards, they're not going to wear very, very much. However, they're not very quick at the same time. Whereas the mediums, they're, in comparison, are a lot faster, but they will wear out a lot quicker. It's just whether who can almost like make the mediums last the longest to get as much sort of performance out of them as possible.
Yeah, definitely. It's striking that balance, isn't it? Really, of the sort of the pace and the longevity of the tyre. So, yeah, it's yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what everyone does. The hard tyre is not necessarily a bad race tyre. I think if you're fast enough, I think there is the option potentially for a two-stop around the circuit, but whether anyone risks that or not remains to be seen.
Absolutely, but in the meantime, pretty much everyone bar 2 people are out on soft tyres. And just a note, Gattuso is now a fully fledged driver for Alpine. He will be scoring manufacturer points for them, but we're going to go board with Keza for a lap of the Hungarian as you come up across the line. And interesting, he's only on medium ERS at the moment. See how that plays out. Hit the brakes into turn 1, third gear, don't touch the curb, it'll make the back end kick, and you've got to be careful because it will go light. The DRS back open as you head down towards turn 2, this sort of off camber corner. You want to keep it as tight as you can and just nail the exit. 3 is flat, and then up to the infamous turn 4 is flick right, 9 left. That you take in 6th gear. Don't run wide, you will get penalised in terms of track limits. Turn 5 with the insta spin curve. And then up into 6 and 7 for the chicane, 3rd gear, using all the curb bar the sausagey butts. 8, 9, 10, very awkward because you kind of want to compromise 8 to open up 9, and then 10 is flat before you then head through 11, which is a little lift, tap of the brakes to make the front end bite, before you then head down towards the hill through to turn 12, hit the brakes at the curb, 3rd gear, tuck it in, get it straight, plant the throttle. And then the penultimate corner, turn 13, the hairpin left. Again, you just got to wait and wait for the so you can get the throttle on, and the same for the 14th and final corner. Get a nice run on the exit of it though, and it's going to be a 1 minute 16.0 for Keza.
Louis looks like he's going to go a lot quicker though with a 14.8. So yeah, he was looking quick all lap there, Louis, and yeah, that's a great start to the session for him.
Absolutely. I mean, it does make you wonder. I think Keza was using medium sort of ERS during that lap, so I wonder if that's almost like sort of like get a banker in and then he'll push flat out later on. But we got spooked on a lap just coming through the second sector.
Yeah, most people on laps now. Ashtube's actually returned to the pit, so not sure what happened there. There was one of the Sabres did spin in sector 2, so it may well have been him. Maybe now coming back in to put some softs on and actually have a proper go at quali now.
Right, the Red Bull of Got Spooked coming up to the final corner. He's going to set a 1 minute 14.648, goes provisional pole. Young Sav, he's coming up to the line in the McLaren. It's a 15.2, 4th place for him. I've got to think could be... Who else we got? JP, who's just gone 7th. Brando Camalengo, the man who's just needs to stay out of trouble at the moment. 17.1, but I wonder if he's just trying to get a bit of a small bit of practice in before he really goes after a time there. as Beyond a Boa puts in a 14.2 for fastest lap.
Yeah, the lap times coming down pretty quick already, aren't they? So pretty impressive stuff there from Bjorn. Sydney invalidated his first attempt, so he's come back in the pits. Jack on an out lap. I think this may be Jack's first attempt. I don't think he's been out already, has he? So yeah, possibly a bit late to the party here for Jack for his first run, but yeah, maybe fancying only 2 runs tonight, possibly, and saving a set of softs for the race. But yeah, he's really throwing it around there, and he's only on the out lap, so he could be one to watch here on his flying lap.
Yeah, and it's another thing we say. Like, I don't know how he almost spins it on his out lap. I mean, that's one way of getting temperature in your tyres. I mean, it's not easy, this game, to get the tyres up to temperature in time for the flying lap on your second lap around the circuit. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's got temperature in his underpants after that one as well now, to be honest. So yeah, that's quite spectacular. So yeah, here we go. Hopefully his actual flying lap will be a little less entertaining. We did look a bit sideways, but that was maybe overstepping the line slightly.
And the line through 1 was not ideal for Jack. Getting on the curb on the inside, you just see how long he had to wait to bring in the throttle. Car looking very well hooked up otherwise, though, as we head through the first sector into turn 4. And the question is really, what sort of rear wing are people using, because it's a difficult circuit to overtake on, and in reality the best opportunity is down into turn 1 with the use of the DRS. So I wonder who's trimmed out their car just a little bit more, suffer through the corners a little bit, but get that straight line speed to make some overtakes.
Yeah, definitely, as you say, and it really is the only spot for overtaking realistically. Yeah, it's a tricky one. JP actually coming up to finish his next lap, but he's coming in the pits. He's not improved on this second run, so yeah, he's bailed out, and yeah, Jack just ran in the final corner.
Yeah, reserve driver in the Williams, across the line of 15.2. The car's looking good, but I think there's definitely corners there where the car just didn't quite hook up properly through the mid corner. He's had a better run, weirdly enough, through his in lap through turn 1. And he's gone onto a bit of grass there. Kezza's just started a lap. We also have Sydney, Ashtube, Destiny, who haven't yet set a time.
Yeah, I think Destiny's first sector's not looking too bad, to be honest. I think it's 26.9. I don't think that's too far off where he'd want to be. As he comes into the final sector now, yellow flag for McLaren, which is Sydney, facing the wrong way on the exit of 3.
Not ideal for Sydney, as he's still yet to get a time on the board. Ashtube has gone into 11th, a 15.4 for him. And Destiny is going to be a 14.7, third place for now.
Yeah, it's good stuff for him. The one person who does need to look at here, Merck, obviously not had a good first lap, down in 11th at the moment. I mean, we're pretty confident he'll probably improve on that, but yeah, unusual to see him down in double figures at the moment.
Yeah, it's one of those circuits, Hungarian. I mean, qualifying is very, very important, but as we sort of saw last night, it's not the end of the world if you don't quite hook up your qualifying lap and you start further down the field. You can make your way through the pack if required. It's just how fast you can do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's keeping yourself out of trouble. One thing around here that's a big factor can be track limit penalties. We saw it last night. It affected the positions quite a bit in tier 2 with the late safety car as well, obviously, which sort of emphasise that even more than normal. So yeah, keeping your nose out of trouble can give you extra time. Merck 0.6 up at the second sector. It's an improvement, but unless he finds another half a second in this final sector, he's not going to be at the front.
The question is, what can he find in this final sector? Because there's not really a lot you can gain from it. It's only 3 corners, but they are long corners. It's a 14.5 for Malc. It is going to be second place for now, so back up near the front. Almost where he kind of belongs to a degree. as Brando Camalengo is currently 3 tenths up on his lap. He's having a very poor qualifying for where he normally qualifies this season.
Yeah, unusual to see him down in those areas, but yeah, it can happen. Some people don't like certain circuits. It does happen that way sometimes as he makes his way out the way for the train of cars coming behind. But yeah, some people just certain circuits don't suit their driving styles and whatnot. And oh, that was very close there between I think who was that in RB in front, and it may have been
Oh,
Lani
Bjorn de
behind,
Boer
actually.
spun it. Coming out of the final corner, young Sav has ejected himself from his seat. Yeah, Bjorn de Boer came through the last corner, got on the throttle as early as he dared, and unfortunately was a slightly bit too early. Had a massive tank slapper through the corner, and round he went before he crossed the line. So he's going to have to come in, get a new set of boots, and go again.
The Scopefielder. He's having a good run of form at the moment. Scopefielder coming up now to 2 and 4, just a tenth and a half up on his previous best time at the moment. Yeah, he's found form after coming into the season late, doing a race in Tier 2, as he wasn't sure about his pace. Clearly, he has the pace to be in Tier 1, and yeah, he's had a good couple of weeks, hasn't he? If I remember correctly. So yeah, see what he does here as he approaches the end of Sector 2. And he's half a second up nearly on his best time, so he is looking at the moment to go to the front row of the grid.
Yeah, he's taking on a good run of form, just staying out of trouble most of the time as Scopefielder. Good evening to Keza, who's said evening. He's watching YouTube whilst he sat in the garage waiting for his car to be prepped for his final run. Scopefielder goes second quickest onto the front row provisionally, a 1:14.419, and we've got ourselves a bit of a qualifying battle here for that second spot.
Yes, excellent work from the Alpine driver, absolutely fantastic. Also, a special shout out to Gabri. I think it's his first race tonight with Invictus, so he's a young sub retired from session in the pit lane, so I'm not sure what's happened there. But I think he's left and the game has retired for him, potentially. But yeah, Gabri, I believe in the Racing Ball, it's his first race tonight in Tier 1, I believe.
Yes, it is, yeah. As a reserve driver, as Louis puts himself onto the second row of the grid. Unfortunately, he's kind of lost his teammate now this season. Joe Hamster retiring from driving for the season, so it's a bit of a shame for the Ferrari camp, but I'm sure if Gabri has a good race tonight, there's every chance that, or even like Bjorn de Boer, every chance one of those guys could be getting a full-time Ferrari seat in the near future.
Yeah, I don't think Louis would mind if Bjorn ended up in there with him. We got a yellow flag for
Yeah,
JP, who
JP
has
just spun it.
rotated. Yeah, rotated at turn 1. Very easy to do there. It's one of those corners. It opens up on the exit, and you feel like you can get your foot in really early, but sometimes it just doesn't like it and will go round on you. So yeah, a very very tricky corner, and JP proving that right now.
And Keza, our local Hungarian weather minion, has said that it looks like they're going to get some rain during the middle of the race.
Okay, so yeah, that could be very interesting. One thing that I was hoping for last night in Tier 2 was plenty of rain, which obviously never came. It was a perfect summer's day in Budapest, but yeah, a bit of rain always spices it up a little bit. It does actually, even in this qualifying session, look very dark in the distance. Obviously, that's not going to hit during this session with only 4 minutes to go. But yeah, we do welcome a little bit of rain just to mix it up a little bit, don't we?
Absolutely, and that could have a big effect on people's strategies, because depending on when that rain comes, we could see a lot of the field on hard tyres to get them to the rain period.
Yeah, definitely. There is always that, and then it brings in if there's a early safety car. Do you come in and pit for mediums? Will they then get you to that rain, or do you just go on the quickest tyre to build up a gap, so that when it does rain, you're still, yeah, I don't know, you still have a good pace advantage, or you're on a softer compound and hope you can get through as much of the rain as possible if it's not too heavy. So yeah, it does add quite a few different strategic factors to it, and yeah, as I said, it's a bit of rain is a welcome addition to every race.
And we have the first couple of drivers out for their final set of qualifying laps, Gattuso and Jack on their out laps. No one else joining them, so they're obviously looking for a nice clear track to get their final times in. As you can imagine, 15 at the moment drivers left in the session after young Savs, we believe AI retired him. It can get quite busy, and trying to find a bit of space and make sure you sort of stay out of other people's ways who are on a lap is quite a difficult thing to achieve. So see these two looking for that little bit of clear track just to give them the best chance, but it looks like everyone's now starting to come out of the pits, so they could have a little bit of traffic to deal with. Zoom right on board with Gattuso. There's an Alpine and a Sauber just getting out of the way before and after turn 1. It looks like he shouldn't really catch the Ferrari and the Red Bull in front of him. And he's 4/10 up at the moment through sector 1.
Yeah, it's a good start to that for Gattuso, just on board with Jack at the moment. Bit of a wobble through turn 2. Still a 10th.5 up on his best time. It's not going to be massive improvements, but it will be improvements nonetheless for the Williams driver. But yeah, Gattuso, he'll be looking to take a good chunk at this. And it's only half a second, and he's well up the order there. So, quarter of a second.
Dropped a bit of time through that second sector, though. So he didn't quite nail the apex of 9. Or even 8 through the last corner, though, for Gattuso. What can he achieve? It's going to be 3/10 up and 6th place for the Alpine driver.
Jack 2/10 up, but yeah, not going to be a huge improvement here, if any. Yeah, just a 1/10 for Jack. Does jump young Sav, who's currently retired from the qualifying session, but yeah, 12th's the highest he's going to get. So it'll be interesting to see if the 3 cars behind him do improve and knock him out of that place. I think Destiny may be the next person to finish a flying lap, potentially.
Yeah, I think there's an Aston. I think the Aston Martin Keza might be the next person. Yeah, he's 3/10 up at the moment on his latest attempt into the final few corners, and unfortunately Keza has invalidated that lap.
Yeah, it's a big time. Destiny 2/10 up at the moment on his best time. I mean, if he can gain it very deep though there into that corner there in the final sector, I think the 2/10 just gained, he's probably going to have lost there. It's just whether he can improve now in the last 2 corners. But I would say it would be very unlikely to improve on his previous time. Well, he improves anyway, but there you go.
Improves, and he's 3rd quickest so far, the 14.479. As usual.
I feel he definitely lost a couple of tenths through what I think is turn 10. I'm not entirely sure, but
turn 12 down there.
Turn 12, sorry, yeah, it's clear. Only 2 out. So yeah, I feel like he did lose time now, but still managed to get it up to 3rd.
More time coming in then. We've had Ashtu come through, he's up into 11th, JP up into 8th, Ryan slides his Sauber into 9th. Gabriel has unfortunately invalidated.
Merc 2/10 up.
Got
there goes Merc.
A 14.0. The question is, what is Bjorn de Boer on? He's nearly a quarter of a second up on his current time. He's looking at a potential 1:13. He comes through the final corner, doesn't lose the back end this time, crosses the line. It is a 13.945, and I don't think anyone's going to be beating that one.
No, that's pretty spectacular for Bjorn to get into the 13s. I'll be delighted with that. I think that is actually qualifying done now. Scopefielder didn't finish his lap, so yeah, excellent work from the Haas driver there, Bjorn de Boer. And Merc doing a solid job. Probably one of Merc's best qualifying sessions for a while there, to be honest, up in 2nd. So yeah, maybe we won't have quite the challenge of trying to battle through everyone like he's had to in recent times.
Yeah, and I have to remember, Bjorn de Boer is, if I remember correctly, he is just a reserve driver at the moment. So I think he's definitely presenting himself the opportunity of getting a full-time seat here for the rest of the season. But Bruce, would you like to take us through the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix?
Absolutely. So yeah, Bjorn de Boer, a fantastic pole position there in the Haas with Merckx alongside him on the front row. Got Spooked and Brando Camalengo, Red Bulls 3 and 4, with Scopefielder 5th and Sydney 6th, Destiny 7th with Louis 8th, Gattuso 9th, JP 10th, Ryan and Gabri 11th and 12th, Ashtube 13th, Jack 14th, Young Sav 15th, and Keza rounding out the grid in 16th.
Which is a shame for Keza. He says he's normally quite good at the corner that he invalidates on, but we know Keza's pace, and we know it's quicker than that. So obviously he's going to have a little bit of work to do. But I mean, sometimes it's more fun coming from the back of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely, and he doesn't really have any pressure. Obviously, a full-time Tier 2 driver does a bit of reserve driving in Tier 1. But he has no pressure really. Where he's out on the grid now, can go and enjoy himself, and hopefully for Keza, I mean, he's been caught up in a lot of other people's stuff over the last few weeks, so sort of gets caught up in it. It's no fault of his own. There's been a lot of wrong place, wrong time for him in recent races. So yeah, fingers crossed he can avoid that tonight, and yeah, just show us exactly what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he races in Tier 2 full time. We race against him, we know how quick he is. It'll be good to see him have a nice clean race. I mean, the more important thing here tonight is getting through turn 1 cleanly, because as we know, it is a hairpin right, and you were going to have 16 cars steaming down towards it.
Yeah, it's a difficult corner, as you say, with that many cars heading down to it. A good trick some people can do, if they find themselves in a bit of space on the outside, is to run all the way around the outside, and as long as they're given room on the exit, they then have the inside line then for turn 2. So yeah, you can make moves by being a bit risky down the outside. And yeah, I think last night in Tier 2 we actually had a relatively clean start, I think, didn't we, on turn 1? Maybe a little bit of chaos a bit later on in the lap, but yeah, it's a tricky first corner, and as we've even seen in real life, can often be the scene of many incidents.
Absolutely, and we're just awaiting. Oh, Merckx has given the command to ready up, so we're going to be up 30 seconds away from the formation lap. And I think, looking at qualifying, I think there's anyone in that sort of top 5 area that could win this race. As we know, you can be the quickest in qualifying, but if you destroy your tyres because of your setup, then it can go all very pear-shaped. So hopefully this is going to be a very, very close race, and we're going to have a nice sort of leading group battling away for the win during the duration of this race, 35 laps worth.
Absolutely, yeah. Looks like someone in the crowd there has come a long way from Australia in the background, which is good to see. Yeah, it's difficult to overtake right here, very difficult to overtake, and the start's going to be crucial, really, for everyone. Yeah, as you say, I think anyone in the top 5. I mean, I think there's even people further down who, if they can find themselves in the right place, sort of right time, especially with the weather that's supposedly coming in, they could, anyone really could get a podium tonight. Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I think the strategy is going to be pretty interesting. It does look like, if I saw that correctly, there's Merckx on hards. Yeah, Merckx on hard tyres, Bjorn on mediums. There's only 4 drivers gone for the hard tyres. Maybe this is an attempt to get to the rain that's supposed to be coming in.
Well, according to Weather Minion Keza, the rain has now disappeared off their screens on their forecast, so we could be looking at a dry race. But as we say multiple times, we do run approximate forecasts. We do not run perfect forecasts here in Invictus Racing League. So there is that element of sort of, not necessarily randomness, but you're not always quite sure exactly what might happen. It could start to rain still.
Yeah, definitely. And there is a fair bit of cloud cover. It's not clear by any means. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the little shower maybe still turn up. I mean, I think the other week in our race, I can't remember where we were, but it didn't say much about rain, and the rain did come. So, yeah, well, nearly a bit of contact there between JP and Gattuso. And there is the RB of Gabri on the grass as well. So everyone doing their best to warm up their tyres. Maybe a little bit over exuberant doing so.
Yeah, we've got 3 drivers back already on the grid from being disqualified from the formation lap of Sydney, Destiny and JP911. So that's not quite gone to plan. The question is, what sort of angles are we going to have on the grid? Looks like there's no one really at a massively wild angle from what I can tell from the back of the grid anyway. Obviously with the formation lap you can set your car up to be very, very angled. We're going to head off to the start of the race. We have the double 5 red lights by the sound of it. And we are racing here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. And he's murked on the hard tyres. Somehow he's got a better start than Bjorn de Boer. So maybe a poor reaction time from Bjorn. As we head down towards turn 1. Bjorn just going around the outside. Can he find that grip? Yes, he can. He'll get the power on. And away we go then. We've got moves in the background as we head down towards turn 2 for the first time. Mercked under pressure from Got Spooked. He's getting the Red Bull down the inside. Remember, Merck doesn't really have to fight him at this stage. He's on a different strategy to the Red Bull. But Got Spooked up into second. Brando up into fourth. Scofield falls down to fifth. And it looks like we've got a pretty clean getaway.
Yeah, Ashtube, Youngstaff and Gabri just connecting wheels. Just one of those game physics things, really. They got sort of all hooked up. It was 3 into 1 and luckily, I don't think any damage. Oh, Youngstaff has retired from the session. And, well, he seems to have just vacated the seat, actually. The car is still going round, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there.
I wonder if, once again, he has maybe disconnected and the AI has taken him out of contention. As Louis down the inside of Gattuso. These two on hard tyres, so... Oh, there's collision between the two. And damage behind for JP. A little bit of a silly collision there in the penultimate corner of turn 13. Was a little bit more between Gattuso and Ryan on the exit of 14, but it all seems to have settled down now as we head towards turn number 1 for the second time. Keza looking to the inside of this Albert. And there's a lovely move from the Aston Martin as Ryan drops another couple of places here. Teammate on teammate through turn 2 we go. No team orders at Sauber by the looks of it as they continue to go too wide through. Oh, well, that's a huge accident behind.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what happened there. Safety car is out, unsurprisingly. That was a huge crash. Looked like almost Gabri got a little bit sideways, maybe took the curb on the inside of 3, got a little bit sideways, and JP was so close behind him he kind of had nowhere to go. And yeah, the contact turned both of them round into the wall, and amazingly JP survived that. Obviously it's very unfortunate that Gabri hasn't, but yeah, incredible that Mercedes is still going.
Yeah, as we say, safety car out, unsurprisingly for that hit. I mean, in real life, that would definitely have a medical car on the way to Gabri. That was a huge incident for him. It's a shame we can't really get to know what sort of G-force that went into the barrier at, because...
Ooh, got spooked in.
This is interesting. Is this going to be to hard tyres then?
Scopefield it as well.
So Beyond the Boer continues round. It is the hard compound tyre for the Red Bull.
Got a Sabre double stack as well, but I don't know if either one of them has damage or not. But yeah, double stack for the Sabre team, that makes sense. I mean, they're not really going to lose any places. I think Ryan may lose one, but having said that, JP has a new front wing change as well. Actually, so does Ryan. So yeah, I think Ryan may lose a place because it's double stack, but it's not going to be too detrimental to his race.
And Ryan getting out ahead of JP911 in the pit stops. Not quite sure what's going on.
Brando just dropped 2 places, so I wonder whether or not he's just spun it under the safety car.
I was going to say that there was a bit of overtaking going on under the safety car, whether that was, as you say, because Brando spun it. So it's not really an ideal situation when you're under safety car. But the question is, will the hard tyres do nigh on 31 laps here?
I mean, I think they will. I didn't have a very pleasant experience on them last night, but yeah, I think they will do the distance, but you just got to be patient. The pace will be terrible at the end of the race, that's the only thing. But having said that, you do now have the option with the hard tyre runners is now that they will pace sort of basically be on a level par, probably maybe 10 laps in, to this race with the medium runners that haven't pitted, and then they'll be able to go to the quicker tyre at the end of the race.
Oh, Brando's nearly spun it again.
Brando again.
And now Jek goes through.
It's nearly a spin for the McLaren there of Sydney as well. I don't quite know what's going on here.
There's like ash tubes coming back into the pits.
Everyone's having a bit of a struggle tonight on the track, aren't they?
The big question is, why did ash tube come back in the pits? Was he meant to have got a front wing change? This is interesting from ash tube. I wonder if he's maybe thinking, now, if you can make it, it would be a very big ask on those medium tyres, but especially on the basis he'd have to go back on a used set. But I'm not sure you can do 31 laps. Well, I suppose you can do 31 laps on 2 sets of mediums, but they're not going to be pretty at the end of each stint.
No, yeah, it won't be that nice, that's for sure. But I mean, maybe he's been maybe he's done a bit of practice, feels that the hards are just not for him, and that maybe he feels the best way to go is to go now 2 sets of mediums to the end of the race. But yeah, interesting strategic call there for Ashtube, and yeah, it might well pay off. It'd be interesting to see if it does.
I mean, it does mean now effectively, obviously everyone who is still on the mediums will have to run the hard tyres, and obviously Ashtube's now fulfilled that criteria of running both tyres, so he no longer has to go on that hard tyre, which we know is a lot slower than the mediums until that crossover period, and you can lose a lot of time on them.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Yeah, safety car is in this lap, so yeah, it's over to Beyond the Board to become the temporary safety car. Be interesting to see when he goes.
So here we go then, Beyond the Board, controlling the field, trying to, as we've got a 10-second penalty for jet collision with Keza under the safety car. That's never a good thing. Beyond the Board is still waiting. When does he go? Goes at the start of the final corner, but I must admit he hasn't really caught Merck napping there, only 4.5 tenths. Merck is very much not necessarily within range of an overtake, but he's within range to stay with Beyond the Board on this restart, and no pressure alleviated by the Haas.
Yeah, Ashtube looking to make the move on JP for 13th place at the back here, and gets the move done to catch JP a little bit napping there, I think. And now he's going to try and catch up with the tail of his teammate Ryan. Maybe try and do a bit of team orders to get the medium shod runner ahead.
From Sydney, Louis is in 5th, with Gattuso 6th, Keza 7th, Czech in 8th, but he's got that 10-second penalty, and on the basis he's going to have to make a pit stop, that will not get returned to him because he'll end up serving that in the pits.
Yeah, really, for Jack now, he's kind of going to be hoping for a safety car, isn't he? So he can clear that and minimise the damage of that 10-second stop penalty. Yeah.
As we were saying earlier, obviously, about these hard tyres being slower, very well demonstrated this from Gattuso, obviously trying to get the warm-up on the hard compound, along with the fact that the tyres are still pretty fresh. He's definitely become a bit of a cork in the bottle here for most of the runners behind him.
And this is where it gets tricky though, because it's very difficult to overtake round here. You've got to be very smart with your ERS and DRS usage, and just trying to stick behind the car in front. Oh, that's a late move from Keza.
It was a very late move from Keza, and he's almost gone round because of it. Amazingly, he's kept position. Jack and Brando now go side by side, down towards turn 2. The Red Bull clips the curb, a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. That's all good, that's all hard racing. Ryan and Scopefield are also going at it as well. And Brando will get that move done. Ryan and Scopefield are side by side up towards 4. This is not a corner, you normally go side by side, and that is why.
Crash there between Scopefield and Ryan. Didn't exactly see what happened there, but yeah, very lucky just ahead as well to not have a huge accident just in front. But I think we're avoiding a safety car here as Scopefield gets on his way, but that's damage to the left front end plate of his car.
Big damage to Ryan as well. He's lost main planes.
Well. Yeah, so those two are going to have to pit once again to get new front wings.
I'm sure that'll end up in the stewards later. And as we say, it's not a corner you go side by side through for, because it's so easy to make contact and cause a collision, and as demonstrated, lucky no one retired from that incident.
Yeah, ambitious stuff, and it really does need the cooperation of both drivers, and that's unlikely to happen at a point like that. The car in front's always going to assume the car behind is going to back out of that, and unfortunately there we didn't see that.
So Ryan in the pits for a wing. Schofielder continues. This effectively means Ryan is kind of onto Ash Tube's sort of strategy. He can be maybe looking to take 2 sets of mediums to the end here, albeit from very far back on the track, but you never know if a safety car were to come out at the right time.
The Red Bulls have got Spooked and Brando have sort of found themselves in sort of big slide for Keza, and Brando goes to take advantage on the inside.
Oh,
a little bit of contact. Ooh.
Bit of wheel banging. Keza just about holds the car. He's going to lose a place now to Got Spooked as well because of the loss of momentum. Down into 12. Again, we're seeing some very unusual overtakes around this circuit. Places you don't normally see them. But the drivers, I mean, they're not giving up spots at all, are they? They are fighting for every inch of the circuit.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of opportunistic moves when people are having moments, and yeah, it's pretty good stuff to watch. It's pretty exciting. As Got Spooked now looks to make the move on Brando, and I think that was pretty rehearsed. It looked like Brando let him go through.
Yeah, obviously, Got Spooked already made a pit stop. Brando has not. Got Spooked, the leading driver that has made a pit stop in this race, as Ash Tube and Jet go side by side through too, and Ash Tube making those new fresher mediums work for him at the moment. But yeah, it makes sense for those for the two Red Bulls to swap around, because the mediums at 7 laps, obviously there's 2 or 3 is Got Spooked down the inside of Gattuso. Gattuso skips the chicane. You have to feel he's going to have to give that place up.
Yeah, difficult one to call that.
Well, that's an interesting place. That's not going to work.
No, you can't make a move there, and that's going to cost possibly 2 places for Got Spooked, but just the one. Oh my god.
More collision between Keza and Brando there. Brando's still going around. He's hit the wall. And we have a safety car.
I think the safety car is probably a good time. I think a few people maybe need to just get a little bit more level-headed and calm down a little bit. It's a little bit chaotic, that. As Jack asked you, JP in the pits. The safety car has not picked up the leader, so yeah, everyone's going to be on the delta. So no places are going to be particularly made here under the safety car, but the safety car very nearly did pick up beyond the ball.
And Ashu back to his hard compound tyres. So Ashu going for as many pit stops as he can possibly make today.
Good news for Jack though, he's now managed to get rid of that 10-second penalty. So fingers crossed he'll not get another one in a minute under safety car. But yeah, no, this would be very interesting to see. You'd have to think Sydney, Dashley, beyond the ball, they're going to come in for those hard tyres. Question is, will Mert come in for mediums and attempt a medium run to the end of the race? Because as you say, you can't do 26 laps on mediums, or at least we don't think you can.
No, and the thing is, we're going to get probably at least another lap or 2 of safety car, so it's going to be 24 laps. You know, 24, 25 laps left, and we know that the mediums will probably do 12, 13 laps, especially in Merck's hands. Merck has decided, no, that's not the strategy he wishes to play. He's going to continue on as Beyond the Bar, Destiny come in, Sydney comes in, Louis stays out, he's on the hards as well, so he's following Merck's sort of lead. Gattuso will stay out as well. So this is getting very interesting in terms of strategy. But it must be said that Got Spook's move there on through that sector on Keza actually affected his teammate more than him, because obviously him and Keza had a bit of a slide, and I'm pretty certain that Brando ended up hitting the back of one of them, and it took the main plane off of his front wing. So yeah, a bit of civil war in the Red Bull camp at the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely a ripple effect back down through the field there, wasn't there, with that one? The Gattuso through the chicane. Dubious. Hard to call that one without seeing everyone's point of view. Obviously, I wouldn't like to call that one. It looked like he did try to make the corner, but then kind of they connected. So yeah, interesting one that one. But and then the move up the inside, I think, was just frustration from the Red Bull driver, and yeah, as you say, caused the incident behind, which has now brought out the safety car. As I said, I think the safety car coming out is maybe a good thing. Hopefully, people calm down a little bit. But I mean, from what we've seen so far, um, yeah, this could carry on, and this may not be the last safety car.
No, if we're going to average this out, we're on course for at least 6 safety cars so far tonight. Interesting how this safety car, obviously, the first safety car brought out due to a DNF and a huge impact for Gabri. And this one kind of brought out just from an off reality, probably didn't need a safety car.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Actually, it's funny how it works, isn't it? Merck there was just feigning to go into the pits, which obviously at this point would be an interesting move. But yeah, feigning to go into the pits and also forced Bert Mylander to take some avoiding action into the penultimate corner and nearly stuffed it down the inside of the Aston Martin.
Yeah, it's only one thing you don't want to mess with, and that is the safety car in this game. It will rip your wheel off at the first opportunity it gets.
I feel like you're speaking from experience there,
got very, very possibly previous history, especially with that green mobile. But interesting on tyre strategy though. Ryan, the only person on mediums at the moment, so he's going to be looking to get through the field, get through those hard runners quickly, use that grip advantage.
Yeah, but we've seen, haven't we, with Gattuso? You know, he's on that hard tyre, and he had a massive train. He was doing a fantastic job of keeping everyone behind. So you know, the people following him were very, very capable drivers on medium tyres, and they just couldn't get it done. And in the end, they were, you know, some interesting moves were made to try and get past him. But yeah, it's very, very difficult to overtake around this circuit. Ryan's going to have his work cut out from that position, knowing that he definitely has to make another pit stop.
Biggest mover so far, though, is Keza. Technically, he's actually Scopefielder because he's gone down 9 places, but biggest position gained is Keza with 8 places gained at the moment, from 16th to 8th so far. We've got Louis and Gattuso both up 6, but those drivers do need to pit still.
Yeah, I like your statistics there. We only count the positive, not the negative here. So yeah, Keza doing a fantastic job. As we said, you know, his qualifying wasn't really a true show of his pace. So yeah, good to see him doing the business at the moment. And so far, he's sort of been able to keep out of a fair bit of trouble.
Yeah, and we've also got Ashtube and Scopefielder who have made 3 trips through the pit lane so far tonight. JP and Ryan have both made 2. The rest, bar the top 3, have all just made the 1 stop for tonight.
Yeah, Gotspeed's going to have the same problem on the restart of trying to get past Gattuso. Got to think about this cleverly now. Yeah, interesting. It is interesting, these guys on the hards at the front. You know, we kind of assuming that beyond the board, Destiny, Sydney, Keza, probably even Ashtube, or all the way down really to Ryan, don't have to pit again. So yeah, Merck's going to have to make up a pit stop's worth of time, and not only that, the guys behind are on, you know, better tyre wear on those hards as well, so they're going to have a pace advantage and a pit stop advantage.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all a question of how quick is Merck going to be on those mediums. And especially at the moment, because we're 12 laps in and there's no penalties on screen yet. Obviously, we've had Jack's 10-second penalty because of crashing into Kez under the safety car conditions, but from a track limits point of view, we're yet to see a penalty, although we've probably only had about 6 racing laps.
Yeah, that's very true. But obviously, we don't know how many warnings everyone has had, so it's a very slow behind the safety car. Hopefully, everyone avoids contact, and it looks like they have very, very close over a couple of them. But yeah, here we go. Merc very, very, very steady into penultimate corner. And will he catch Louis unaware?
Goes early, and he has caught Louis unawares. Half a second. 6/10. Still growing, although Louis gets a little bit better traction through the final corner. Brings him back to 0.56. So a good restart though from Merc. I mean, I think we always judge a good restart as over half a second gap, because that does take a bit of pressure off you into turn number 1. And speaking of said turn, is anyone looking to make a move? Yes, they are. Jack on the inside of JP911. Gets the move done. He's up into 10th. Brando Camalengo finding his space going round the outside of JP. So a good start from those two. JP going backwards early on in this restart, but everyone else line astern as we head up through turn 4 and into turn 5. Louis just about hovering around that half a second. Brando Camalengo gets past Jack, and Keza graces us with a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, you cursed Keza there, a bit of commentator's curse, saying no 3-second penalties, and there we go, we get one. Yeah, JP is going backwards rather a bit at the moment, isn't he? So maybe struggling a little bit on those hard tyres, trying to warm them up. But Gattuso was caught out pretty severely there as well, and got swooped all over him. But beyond the ball also, on those slightly better hards, having a look at the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, into turn 13, and I think you can see a little bit of urgency from Spooked as he almost loses the rear end, lights the rears up. Beyond the bar, looking down the inside, can he sneak it through? Better traction though from the Red Bull on the outside line, but it looks like Beyond the Bar looking to get a move done to the outside. Brakes slightly later, gets left the room, just about. And the Haas sitting behind the Red Bull for now. Brando Camalengo up into 9th though. He's past Ashtu, with Ashtu fighting back around the outside of turn number 2. The Sauber not done with this position, but he's going to have to concede now as we head up towards turn number 4. And Gotspook would love to get past Gattuso, but he got too many of his eyes looking in his mirrors instead with that Haas.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, Gattuso doing an excellent defensive drive at the moment. And this is just going to frustrate Gotspook even more than it has done already. You know, Gattuso is dropping off the back of Louis considerably. Louis doing an excellent job of keeping up with Merc, it must be said. But yeah, I was very wide from Gotspook. Is Bjorn going to get the run?
Makes Gotspook go defensive.
Oh,
and instead it's actually Destiny who's made a opportunistic move after Beyond the Bow around wide through turn 12. And that's allowed Gotspook to get back onto the back of Gattuso. We're going to have DRS this time around. Haven't seen too much of the DRS in this race. But Gattuso, you have to feel, is about to lose a place to the Red Bull as he's trying to fend off without any DRS. And here comes Beyond the Bow down the inside of the RB. Nice racing room given on the exit. DRS for the pair opens again as we head down towards turn number 2. And Beyond the Bow hanging it around the outside. I think he's going to have to concede that one. As he does, and Destiny keeping that 5th. And Sydney is now starting to look interested as well, as Ryan picks up 3 seconds. As he's trying to make those mediums work and get back through the field. We've got a great battle here for what is now probably going to be as Jack gets past Ashtu. Yeah, you're going to have a great little battle here for 3rd place, although you feel that's going to turn into 4th. As Gotspook should start to drive away from Gattuso with those nicer, fresher tyres, even though they're only 4 laps old, 4 laps newer. 2 laps newer, sorry. But here,
side by side with Destiny and Gattuso, a little bit of contact. It's opened a door for Beyond the Ball on Gattuso as well.
There's a bit of contact.
Kind of turns in. There's a Haas-sized car there on the inside, so not a lot Beyond the Ball could do there. Yeah, Gattuso now really struggling on these tyres.
And that's a bit of a worry for those up the top, because if Gattuso's struggling now on these tyres, that isn't a good omen for when they go on to the mediums. As Sydney looking to go down the inside of Gattuso now. He's up into 6th. And Gattuso fighting back. He's going to have the inside line here for 2. Oh! I don't know if that was caused by collision or just locking of the rear brakes, but whatever happened, I think Brando Camalengo's got more damage to add to his misery tonight. That repair bill is going higher and higher. He's going to owe the team money by the end of the night the way this is going.
Yeah, I think Gattuso did run into the back of the car in front. Oh, Brando, huge moment over the sausage curb on the exit. How he's held on to that, I don't know. And he's all over all the curbs. He's checking them all out at the moment, is Brando. But yeah, it looks like Astube's going to get this move done. As Brando, yeah, as you say, he's got the damage, cannot get the car turned. But yeah, that was cool. Gattuso there just catching the back end of the car in front and spinning in front of the Red Bull driver.
And there we go. Once again, Brando kind of wrong place, wrong time to a degree in that one. Not a lot that can be done. In the meantime, Got Spooked is 1.9 away from Louis. He's got Destiny and Beyond Boa trying to catch up to the back of him as Bjorn picks up fastest lap of the race so far. Brando has come in the pits and unfortunately retired. Probably not a surprise, although with this much of the race left, you have to think staying in the race would have been a better option. Because again, as we've seen safety cars this race, Beyond Boa down the inside of Destiny at turn 2. They're going to be side by side through 3. Bit of a tap. But they're all good and they come through unscathed. Beyond Boa up into 4th, and now his eyes are well and truly set on Got Spooked because he now needs to start taking time out of Merckx and Louis ahead. He can't let them get away too much.
Yeah, definitely Got Spooked, as you say, closing in on Louis and Merckx. But Louis did an excellent job here, sticking with the Mercedes in front. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see where these guys go now on strategy. You know, the guys behind are catching. Destiny and Beyond are doing an excellent job on these fresher hards. Of sticking within a pretty sensible time distance to the guys in front. You have to feel at the moment it's looking like the winner is going to come from one of these guys on the 7-lap old hards at the moment.
That's what you'd like to think, but as we know, anything can happen here. And it's good stuff from Beyond Boa. He's managed to pick up the DRS, which kind of cancels the threat of Destiny and allows him just that peace of mind that he can just go about his business, catch up to the back of this Red Bull. Because what we have to remember, Got Spooked tyres are only 2 laps younger than those in the lead. As Ryan goes down the inside of Ashtube through 1. Looks like the 2 Alpines are having a bit of a fight. They need to work together here, the 2 Alpines. They need to not be holding each other up. But yeah, we have to remember, Got Spooked tyres only 2 laps younger than those ahead. So in reality, he's on a very similar sort of strategy to them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'd think he's still going to have to pit as well. And as I say, you know, Beyond Boa and Destiny, and even Sydney, they're catching up with this pack of 3 cars in front very, very quickly. Yeah, they're looking like they're going to be in a very, very good position. Oh, big slow for Ryan. Holds on to it though.
Kicks out, but I think those mediums probably starting to cry a little bit at 11 laps old. And you have to feel now, Beyond Boa is about to look for a move down towards turn 1. DRS wide open. There he goes to the outside. Probably the favoured sort of line for overtaking. Gets the switch back. Beautifully done from the Haas. He's going to have the outside though for turn number 2. With the curb, bit of contact as they go through. Still side by side though, so it's still fair game. Through 3 and oh, don't go side by side up here, gentlemen. This is not what you want to be doing. Oh, I thought Destiny was about to make that 3 wide into 4. That was almost a heart attack moment for everyone up to there. But both Got Spooked and Destiny doing the smart thing and just going, I don't want to crash right now.
Yeah, and this is bringing Sydney back into it now. He's only 7 tenths now behind Destiny. Just a little bit of battling in front, but yeah, we've seen it tonight a few times into turn 2. People on the inside, maybe not in the best position, not wanting to actually give room or give the space to the car on the outside. But also that corner does drop away a little bit, so maybe people just turning in and finding a bit of understeer when they weren't expecting it, and that's causing a little bit of issue for the drivers. But yeah, here we go. We've got a 4-car fight now for 3rd place as Merckx and Louis come in the pits.
Interesting strategy. 16 laps on the mediums. That's a bit of an ask from these tyres, and you can see Ryan is starting to struggle on his 12-lap old mediums.
Yeah, they'll have to make this count early doors. But yeah, as we say, here we go. Merckx and Louis now shuffled to the back of the pack. I mean, that won't be the back of the pack by the end of the race, because we've definitely got at least, I'd say, 3 cars in front of them that have to pit again. Those cars being Got Spook, Scopefield, and Gattuso. Sorry, and Ryan. So yeah, 4 cars. So yeah, they still got their work cut out though to catch up with the guys in front.
There's a lot of time, but the pace difference, I'm just concerned for them that they might get up to the likes of Beyond the Bower and Got Spooked, but or Destiny, sorry, but whether those tyres are going to hang on enough. I mean, we saw it last night with myself and Mikey. Mikey was taking time out of me on the medium tyres, but as they wore on, obviously that sort of tyre delta gets less and less. And then to a point where they're going to be equal, and then the hards come into play, even though Bjorn de Boer's got like a 10-lap head start against Merck on his tyres.
Yeah, and it does happen quite suddenly, doesn't it, that cliff on those medium tyres. So yeah, we'll be interested to see how it affects them. Gotspeed doing a really good job actually of keeping up with Bjorn de Boer here, even though he's on 7-lap older hard tyres, as Gattuso and Ryan now come in the pits. I assume both for medium tyres.
Ashu gets past Scope Fielder for 7th. So those two having a little battle in that sort of lower mid-pack region. Up the front though, it's still quite close, although Beyond the Bower is slowly building that gap. 0.8 of a second. If you can get that out to a second, Got Spooked is in trouble from the cars behind. We have a yellow flag. That is Gattuso. I get a feeling there was a little bit of argy-bargy between Gattuso and Ryan into turn 2. Either that or Gattuso's hit the inside curb and it's spun him like a top, one or the other.
Yeah, they came out of the pits, I think, slightly apart, so maybe that was just Gattuso's own doing. But yeah, we've got this 4-car fight now at the front. Louis managed to get past JP, so JP's starting to go backwards now. I think Merck must have not long got past him as well. So yeah, JP, he's going to have to pit soon, isn't he? He's going to be relying on a safety car to make anything of this race. Having said that, he is still in the points at the moment as Gattuso picks up a 3-second time penalty.
And Scopefielder goes past Ashtube, and they have a very, very fast Merc behind them. So it'll be interesting to see how Merc deals with these two, because these two are battling. Merc, I mean, he's got a perfect record so far. 7 as Gattuso's come in the pits and retired.
Yeah, shame now for the Alpine driver, obviously feeling enough was enough tonight, but that does mean now that everyone in this race will score points. It actually picks up a 3-second penalty, but yeah, everyone will pick up points now if they finish the race. So,
and this is what we say, yeah, week in, week out. Don't come in the pits and manually retire. You can, I mean, you look at, is it Joe Hamster? Oh, big slide for Ashtube. That's going to allow a gap for Merck to go down. Although, oh, that was close on between the two going through turn 11. But I refer back to Joe Hamster. I believe, was it Las Vegas? Was a lap down and finished 10th.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, just that perseverance matters. I think Ashtube actually then did let Merck through after his slide. He did back out of that and let Merck take the position. Although I don't think Merck realised he was doing that and ran wide himself. But yeah, still just good fight at the front. Got Spooked still clinging on to back of Beyond the Board. That gap's come back down to around about 0.6, and he's struggling. Keza is 6 seconds behind this group of 4 cars, but he's not really dropped much time as Merck now gets past Scopefielder as well. So Merck is battling through the cars, but he's still got a long way to go.
Yeah, I think that's just showing the grip difference between 3-lap-old mediums and 19-lap-old hards there. I don't think Scopefielder really had much of a chance against the Mercedes.
Yeah, Merck not able to do his usual ERS.
Destiny ran the outside and got Spooked into turn 12. He's got Spooked going to pick up a 3-second warning and a collision into the penultimate corner. Sydney looking to the inside, backing out of that move as the door got slammed shut.
A little bit of chaos there, isn't there, between these three? It's enabled Beyond the Board to get away by about a second more than he had done already, and Sydney looking to now make the move on Got Spooked.
And Destiny trying to play clever here, giving Spook the slipstream on the second half. of the straight, but unfortunately I think the tyres have got spooked are starting to cry enough. 21 lap old hard tyres. Oh, big slide for Destiny coming through turn 2. Just about holds onto it. Sydney doesn't quite go into the back of him. Got spooked looking into turn 4. Thinks better of it. He knows that's not the overtaking move he wants to be making. But the gap to the front now already up to 2.1 seconds as these guys fight. But what a hell of a fight this is going to be between the RB, the McLaren, the Red Bull. I think that Red Bull is now starting to fall off the cliff though. He's starting to struggle. He's got spooked and he's nearly a second behind Sydney now.
You'd have to wonder in this situation. I mean, what is Got Spook's plan here? What does he do? Does he just try and stick it out and hope for a safety car? If he pits now, he's going to drop way back, probably down to 11th. To be honest, I think looking at this now. Well, here we go. We're about to find out. He's coming in the pits, but I think he's maybe he left us a little bit too late.
Unless he feels that sort of 10 laps is the sort of range of the mediums. That's all they're going to do in terms of performance. And maybe he just thinks that, you know, the likes of Merckx and Louis, they're going to fall off the cliff maybe 3 or 4 laps before the end of this race, and that could be where he can make up the extra time. But he's going to have to get through the field pretty quickly if he wants to try that sort of strategy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'd have to think he's going to be okay getting up to 8th at least, with the age of the tyres of those 3 cars in 8th, 9th and 10th. But yeah, Merckx and Louis making short work of the back end of the field up to 6th and 7th now, and Merckx catching Jack for 5th.
Yeah, JP all over the back of Ashu as we head up towards 4. People may be wondering, why have I got the gap to the leader up instead of the intervals? Well, that's because I'm interested in seeing that gap between Merckx and Bjorn de Boer. It's down to 13.2 seconds at the moment. Remember, he had a near pit stop advantage to Bjorn all bar about a second.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing here for Merckx is how quickly he can actually get past him, because he can catching him is one thing. I'm not going to say the cliche. Yeah, trying to make the move
this is going to be this 3 wide, almost 3 wide into turn 12. Got spooked with those fresh tyres. Looking to make quick work of these drivers, and he's managed to make up 2 places there. Fantastic stuff from those two. Merckx uses the DRS advantageously against Jack. He's up into 5th place. But got spooked. I mean, he's not messing around. I mean, that's it's very rare you get 3 wide action here at Hungarian, but got spooked says we'll have some of that.
Yeah, definitely. Merckx also now up to 5th, got past Jack. Louis not too far behind the Williams driver either, so you'd expect him to come through. So yeah, now Merckx got a little bit of clean air just to get up to Keza, 2 seconds behind the Aston Martin driver. It'll be interesting to see how quickly he can close that gap, and how quickly he can dispatch of Keza.
I think it's the thing now for Merckx. He's got to take over a second a lap out of Bjorn de Boer to catch up to him. It's going to be a tight race, I think. We'll see if we can keep track on how much time each lap that Merckx gains on the Haas. We're not clocking that as of the next lap. But we've got Destiny and Sydney are pretty close together. We've also got obviously Jack and Louis who are even closer together because of that tyre difference. Schofield on 22 lap old hard tyres. I mean, he must be thinking of having a safety car soon.
Sydney on Destiny is turn 1 for 2nd place. Can't quite get it done though. We'll get the switch back though. We'll get the run. Which side does he go? Goes for the outside into turn 2.
Brakes later, runs a bit deeper, but should get on the throttle earlier. Going to be side by side through 3. They're going to be side by side up towards 4. We've seen a lot of this, but once again, Destiny thinks better of that. He'll stick behind Sydney, maybe pick up the DRS for the next lap. But I think the biggest concern here for the top sort of 4 drivers is that sort of tyre life, as we saw with Got Spooked. He only ran about 21 laps on those hards. However, that was with a fuller fuel tank near the start of this race, so they may well get away with it due to the lighter fuel loads.
Yeah, definitely. Merckx now on the back of Keza as well. If he can get past the Aston Martin driver, this then gives Merckx the opportunity to stretch his legs in lots of clean air, see what he can do catching wise. But yeah, beyond the board at the moment, after the Sydney and Destiny having a little battle, he's kind of disappearing up the road a little bit.
Yeah, and you look at the gap for Merckx, he's actually lost about 3/10 so far because he's got stuck behind Keza through that sector. Those two sectors are staying behind the Aston Martin, costing him about 3/10 of a second there. So he's, I mean, with the DRS, he's pretty much managed to level it with Bjorn de Boer. So his task just got that little bit harder.
Yeah, definitely. But job done now for the Mercedes driver. And now this is where he's got to make it count. But he's running out of time, isn't he? I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle. I think at the moment, if Merck can get a podium, I think he'll consider that a job well done.
Ashtube, JP, side by side, down towards 2. They've been side by side since turn 1. And I think Ashtube should get this move done. Yes, he does. There was a little bit of wheel banging, but generally speaking, hard, fair racing there between the two. And yeah, unfortunately, Ashtube just getting the better JP, but they are on pretty much equal sort of terms here, 20 and 21 lap old tyres. Scopefield are ahead of them on 24 lap old tyres. I mean, Scopefield must just be thinking, get to the end, and right now he's got like 9 seconds on the guys behind, and they're not really catching him.
No, definitely. And I'm looking now as well. Merck here, he has not really pulled any time on Destiny in front. I think those mediums have found their sort of their range already, and yeah, I mean 7.4 behind Destiny coming across the line. I don't think he was. I think he was around about 7.8 going into this lap. So yeah, may have taken a few attempts, but nowhere near enough to make it count. And as it is, I mean, Keza is sticking with the Mercedes driver quite happily.
Yeah, I mean, Merckx only gained about a 10th on Bjorn de Boer that lap. So this is looking very difficult for Merckx. This could be the first race that he does not win. I mean, right now it's also looking very difficult for a podium as we've got yellow flags of JP and Ashtube. We're going side by... Oh! A bit of a collision between the two. I wonder if Ashtube misread the situation, because I got a feeling JP was trying to let him through, and I don't think Ashtube really realised it and just ran into the back of him and he lost the end plate. That's not going to help him in this fight. And it's starting to bring Ryan into this battle with these two.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. I think JP was trying to let him back past, but maybe a little bit too much in the middle of the road and confused Ashtube a little bit as to what was happening. But yeah, big shame for Ashtube to lose that end plate now. And yeah, JP's probably wondering why he's so slow in the middle sector, but actually Ashtube just lets him go.
Yeah, it's been a hard season for the Sauber team of Ashtube and Ryan. They've just been caught up in so much stuff that really isn't their fault. Yeah, it's been a really tough season for them, but they keep going, they keep finishing races, and they keep picking up, even if they're not massive points, they're just constantly gaining whatever points they can get on the day, and it all adds up come the end of the season.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it does indeed. You're 100% right. Just that perseverance does count, and consistent finishing counts as well.
Oh, that's close between Jack and Got Spooked. Destiny has a 3-second time penalty as we go through 4 with Got Spooked. He's on the back of the Williams, and that Williams is now struggling. 21 lap old hard tyres, 5 lap old mediums. There's a collision in the chicane. Jack goes straight on. Possibly not in the same vein as Gattuso. I don't think Gattuso was as far alongside on this occasion. But I'm pretty certain that's 2 times Got Spooked has tried to move in that chicane, and 2 times the car he's tried overtaking has had to cut across.
Yeah, it's a difficult place to overtake. You really have to be right down the inside there. Ashtube come in the pits now. He's put on the soft tyres, so clearly going hunting for that fastest lap. And obviously with him being in the top 12, he's fair game to get it as well.
Yeah, fastest lap sitting with Got Spooked at the moment, 1:16.281. Spooked to the inside of Jack. I mean, to be fair, that's a lovely pass from Spooked, and Jack just running into the back of him a little bit there, but nothing too sinister. And Merckx, we've said it before, he's not catching.
No, if anything, he's dropped a tenth or two over the last couple of laps. So yeah, big surprise really. But well, say big surprise, but we knew those medium tyres aren't the best for longevity. So yeah, it's this is definitely, unless something really dramatic happens, as you say, the first race that Merckx is not going to win. And you have to feel more than anything that it's due to his decision to start on those hard tyres at the start of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand understand the sort of thought pattern behind it. I mean, in reality, when you plan strategies, you can't really plan around safety cars like you do in real life. Because you just don't know when they're going to come on the game. They could come in the right time, could come in the wrong time. As Destiny gets past Sydney with DRS, so that battle still continuing, but he runs a little bit wide and Sydney's going to come. That's going to help Merc just a little bit with a bit of time gain. He has actually gained about half a second to beyond Boer on this lap. So maybe a little bit of ERS usage, but he's definitely not going to catch up, I don't think, at the rate he's going, especially with only 4 laps left. But as you're saying, like with strategy, you have to plan for a fully green flag race, and it could well have been that it was green flag up until when the hard runners wanted to pit.
Yep, yeah, that is true. It can go either way, I guess. Louis now right on the back of Keza. Got Spooked also catching the pair, but you think Louis could get this move done pretty quick and escape up the road to avoid the threat of Got Spooked. But yeah, at the moment you'd have to think Louis' tyres are struggling just like Merc is with his, and Got Spooked's got a great chance of actually getting up into 5th place. Whether he can bridge that 3-second gap with his penalty he has is another thing.
There's the big question. And I think with 3 seconds now, with only a few laps left in this race, it's going to be very, very hard, a second a lap almost, if you can get to the back of it. But Louis looking very comfortable here as Destiny gets back past Sydney up at the front. Here comes Louis to the inside, but I'm going to go back to the battle for second place because they're side by side into 2. A little bit of a collision. They all survive, and they're going to continue on. Sydney getting back into second. Destiny once again, he looks to the outside of 4, decides better of it. He's done that most of this race, but it makes you wonder if that last lap, whether that temptation, if it comes for him in turn 4, will he succumb to that temptation of trying to go around the outside of 4, tighten up Sydney and risk that incident.
Yeah, definitely. Merc, I think, has made a mistake somewhere. He's dropped 2 seconds to the guys in front, and now Louis is pretty close to him. So yeah, the Mercedes driver definitely dropping back a little bit from where he was. Got Spooked now right on the back of Keza as well, and Keza still with Louis. So yeah, this could be an interesting battle here right at the end of the race. And Merc, as I say, Merc is not that far growth. I mean, could we see Got Spooked actually still get up to 4th place on track?
Every chance of it, as here comes Destiny once again. DRS open on the McLaren to the outside. Can he make anything of it? Looks for the switchback. This has happened multiple times. Although it looks like he got a little bit squeezed onto the grass there. Maybe a little twitch from Sydney. As we know that Sydney doesn't, he does leave room normally, so maybe a slight twitch from the McLaren. But that means Destiny's going to have one more chance of this on the last lap, because he's going to have to reclose that 4/10 gap. Meanwhile, Merck's pulled about half a second on Louis, so the master of ERS saving has probably mashed that button just a little bit to get that gap back up. And we've got Spooked now with Keza. The question is, this is definitely for position. Both of them have 3-second penalties.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually Destiny got his own little wiggle on actually out of turn 1. Sydney, was far enough away, so yeah, just a little wobble from him. But yeah, this battle here between Keza and Got Spooked is looking pretty tight. And yeah, Got Spooked hasn't been shy of throwing a move down the inside.
It looks like Destiny's also made a mistake somewhere. He's now 2.6 off the back of Sydney. And he's now got to be careful here that he doesn't make another mistake, because he might bring Merck into that penalty window of 3 seconds.
Yeah, it does look like he's struggling a little bit on these tyres now. I mean, they are very old tyres, 25 laps. And Got Spooked, here you go, down the inside of Keza into turn 1 on this final lap. Makes me a little bit, bit of understeer. Did go straight on a little bit. Very Max Verstappen of this year, that. But I think Keza just lets it through. It's not really a fight. I don't think Keza needs to get involved in. And yeah, maybe Keza thinking, well, Got Spooked's got some pace advantage. Will he catch Louis?
Yeah, the biggest problem for the pair of them, they both have penalties, and any move made on track, they've got about half a lap to get 3 seconds up the road. We're up to 4.7 behind Destiny. We've got a yellow flag. I think that is Jack. And she's going to bring Scopefielder into play against him.
But only 3/10 behind.
It's getting close, but at the front, we'll come back to Got Spooked because Beyond the Boer, he's had a hell of a race. It was pole position, and it is the win for the reserve driver in the Haas. Surely a full-time seat coming his way soon. Sydney picks up second with Destiny in third. Merck will come home in fourth. It looks like Louis going to hold on. Well, I mean, he was always going to hold on with the penalties, but he's held on track as well. Fifth place for the Ferrari. Got Spooked is in sixth. Keza in seventh. Jack is going to come home in eighth place. Scopefielder picked up a 3 seconds on that last lap, which wasn't really ideal for him. And Scopefielder ninth. JP 911, he's had a bit of a tough event. Looks like the car just not quite maybe doing what he wanted to do, not quite the right setup. But he's going to come home in a top 10 place and more points on the board. Ashtube, the two Saubers of Ashtube and Ryan, going to finish 11th and 12th, respectively. Once again, showing their determination, getting to the end. And granted, it's only 3 points for the team, but it's 3 more points than other teams and points more than other drivers. But beyond a Boer, that's a hell of a race from him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if I just saw that though, but I have a feeling that Ryan may have taken the fastest lap on that last lap. But I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to check that in a minute. But yeah, a great run from Bjorn de Boer. Got the strategy right. Obviously, safety cars played a bit of a role in tonight's proceedings, but yeah, you've just got to be in the right place at the right time sometimes, and that top three definitely were.
Look at that very different look podium. There's no Mercedes, there's no Red Bull up there. We have a Haas, a McLaren and an RB. And you are correct, Ryan did take the fast lap at the end of the race from Got Spooked. But Bruce, you're going to take us through the provisional results.
Yeah, sure. So Beyond the Boer converting his pole position to a race win. Sydney in excellent second place in the McLaren. Destiny third and Mert fourth. Louis fifth. Got Spooked sixth. Keza seventh and Jack eighth. Scopefielder ninth. JP 10th. Ashtube and Ryan 11th and 12th in the Sabres with DNFs for Gattuso, Brando Camalingo, Gabri and Young South.
I just want to point out a really rare thing in terms of the results here. Mert, 12 seconds exactly off the winner.
Yeah, he does things with precision, doesn't he? So yeah, and just showing off a little bit there with that one. But yeah, interesting random facts of the race there.
It wouldn't be IRL without some random facts, would it? Let's see if we get some write-ups from people. So bear with us whilst we try and get some stuff from the drivers themselves. But Bruce, I mean, driver of the day went to Keza from the game. I mean, you kind of, in terms of position gained, you kind of have to agree with the game, but I think Beyond the Boer has a bit of a case in that one as well.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a bit easier when you're starting on pole position, but yeah, he's had the pace, hasn't he, all night, and sort of showed that from the outset, really, with his initial lap times in qualifying, and yeah, just had that consistency, really, didn't we? We didn't really see him make mistakes tonight. No track limit penalties, and I think that was key tonight. Just getting through with no real issues, and yeah, speed and consistency always gets you good results.
Yeah, absolutely, and we saw probably a lot less penalties as well than I was expecting from the grid tonight. Obviously, Hungary, a very easy track to pick up warnings, pick up the penalties. But generally speaking, other than a few, it was a pretty clean sort of race from that perspective.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, track limits wise, there's a few instances in the race. It was pretty hectic at times, wasn't it? But yeah, a lot of the guys did a good job of not getting those penalties. I think definitely a lot less penalties floating around tonight than there was last night. But yeah, it just shows really, these guys have the ability to run at the pace they do. Whilst staying in those track limits, and yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, fair play to all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to the perfect streak of Merckx. I mean, and what's even worse is that perfect streak of podiums is now gone as well.
Yeah, no, definitely it has indeed, and it was always going to happen. It's not that easy for Merck to win every single race. He's done great as it is all this season, and he's had a few close calls already where people have been close to beating him. I think Vegas was one of the ones where maybe slightly better position in the last lap from the guys in first and second would have actually seen one of them win the race instead of Merck. But yeah, he just got caught out tonight really with that safety car. Not a lot really he could do about it. With the multiple safety cars, they just didn't suit his strategy. And yeah, but he still did an excellent job to recover up to fourth.
Yeah, and obviously you refer to like previous races where we've constantly been saying the gap between Merckx and the rest of the field is closing all the time. I think at the start of this season with the brand new game, it kind of opened up a little bit more than what was comparative to the second season on 2023. But once again, everyone's now starting to close back in, and that sort of pressure on Merckx is starting to tell a little bit in the fact that he's starting to make some small errors.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I think those small errors tonight were maybe caused by the tyre life on his car, and yeah, it was never he was never really in an ideal situation with the tyres he was running. So yeah, I think as well with the way the situation in the championship as well, he doesn't need to go out and win races left, right, and centre now. So yeah, I think just picking up those odd wins here and there will be absolutely spot on for him now. Even just I think he's built up such a lead in the first half of the season that even just finishing top fives, I think will probably be enough from this day onwards. So.
Yeah, we got a couple of driver write-ups to come in. So Bjorn de Bart saying he had an amazing quali, on pole by almost a tenth from Merckx. The first stint went well, stayed in P1 without any problems. 2 safety cars later, he pit for the hards to the end, and just had to make his way through 2 people, and then it was just getting it home. And apparently a nice birthday gift for himself, so it must be his birthday, so happy birthday to Bjorn. In the meantime, Sydney saying he didn't have a great qualifying, so he started 6th, lost a position at the start. First safety car, 2 or 3 guys in front of him pitted. It was too early for him, and then on the second safety car was perfect for the strategy he was playing. It kept it easy going for the first part of the stint to conserve tyres, and got spooked. Tyres were going because he pitted on the first safety car. He had a nice battle with Destiny, but he managed to keep it nice and consistent. So that was Bjorn de Bart, your eventual winner, and Sydney, who, if I remember correctly, was second. So congratulations to those two, and obviously congratulations also to Destiny. We're going to run out of time before he puts in a write-up, unfortunately. But Bruce, next week we go to Jeddah. Very, very quick street circuit, and the walls are even closer than they were this week. So the racing should be even more spectacular.
Yeah, it's a pretty flat-out circuit, isn't it, Jeddah? And as you say, that the walls are very close. I would be very surprised if we didn't see safety cars next week. The race, obviously, because it's so fast, is a bit of a shorter race laps-wise. But yeah, normally provides good racing, normally pretty close racing with that DRS as well. It's a massive factor at that circuit. So yeah, I think it's 3 DRS zones, isn't it, right now? So yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to see, and will be pretty much chalk and cheese to what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But for now, for everyone watching, this has been the Invictus Racing League Tier 1 for equal performance. This is round 8 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Tomorrow we have the RP from Hungary, obviously not streamed at the moment, but they'll be doing their run tomorrow. And then next week we're back again for round number 9 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. On Tuesday we have Tier 2 brought to you by Joe Hamster and possibly JP911. And then Wednesday myself and Bruce are back for more Tier 1 action. So if you have enjoyed the stream, make sure you like it, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel to not miss another live race for the rest of the season. And from us, thank you for watching tonight. Goodbye.